Hello, my name is Morgan Pittenger. Welcome to my Capstone Research PowerPoint. My PowerPoint is all about AI takeover. I apologize if I sound like I'm stopped up. What does AI stand for? AI is an acronym that stands for Artificial Intelligence. AI has been spotted everywhere throughout the world, and people have adapted to working with robots since the 1990s when the internet became useful. Pros about AI takeover. Robots and machines never get tired, they never ask for breaks, and they always stay on task once the programming is completed. But however, with every good pro, there's always an evil con lurking nearby. Cons about AI takeover. Robots and machines are unpredictable. They have access to nuclear weapons, which leads to the end of the world, have a tendency to malfunction, and those malfunctions can lead to robots and machines needing repairment. AI's current time. It is not as dominant as it seems to be becoming in 20 to 30 years. But many people fret over the thought of AI interfering with human rights. Coletta states that as we delegate more responsibility to machines in regards to autonomous decision making, we must guarantee proper accountability in protecting human rights. But she also states that government activities such as terrorism, biometric tracking and thwarting, and even threatening illegal behavior are performed to make our lives more secure and do work to thwart criminal activities. Many people believe that the only way they can deal with AI is to shut it down completely, but that is not always the case. Johnson states that AI, augmenting conventional capabilities, might affect strategic stability between gray military powers. Why do people fear? Why do people fear AI so much? Well, unknown things can be scary. People despise change and they would rather stick to what they know works. And some people, even though they are worried, may see AI as an improvement, but they won't have a clue on what to do when permanently out of a job. The grandeur states that robots were created to perform the same jobs as slave jobs that are dirty, dangerous, or monotonous, therefore freeing their owners to pursue more lofty and comfortable pursuits. AI, predictable and trustworthy or not? AI is clearly unpredictable, and people must be cautious around new things. Especially AI, they have to be extra careful. AI takeover isn't fair for the people who worked hard to earn those careers. But in contrast, it also helps people learn to work smarter and not harder. However, the pros and cons must be weighed fairly against each other. But time will tell if AI actually does take over careers. Can AI have positive results? Well, Kinder mentioned that technology may destroy work, but it can also create it. Jobs such as app developer, social media manager, and drone operator did not exist until recently. While technology does exist in creating more jobs, it can also be very treacherous. Robots are used to handle the dirty work that people refuse to do. And as previously stated, robots were created to perform the same jobs as slave jobs that are dirty, dangerous, or monotonous, and therefore they free their owners to pursue more lofty and comfortable pursuits. AI predictions. Many predictions revolve around AI, but however, predictions aren't always true. Agarwal et al. Mentioned that prediction, however, is not the only element of a decision. Effective decision-making also requires collection, organization of data, the ability to take an action based on a decision, and the judgment to evaluate the payoffs associated with different outcomes. AI resources. In the private sector, people experience AI every single day. Is AI a useful resource for the government to use as well? Well, to support that question, Bell stated that can AI/ML become a resource for government agencies, not just in controlling traffic lights or sorting mail, but in the exercise of the government's conversive powers? He further states that AI can be useful in performing four functions: identifying associations within a population, identifying outliers in a population, developing associational rules, and solving prediction problems of classification and regression. Why do people fear AI? Part 1. Why choose now to start fearing AI if AI had already been a part of the human evolution? Angelke stated that after decades of largely unfulfilled promises, artificial intelligence has finally and only recently begun to demonstrate its massive power to reshape the marketplace, the public sector, the national security arena, and society more broadly. He also mentions that the technical developments have occurred over the past decade, including new machine learning breakthroughs based on vast improvements in computational power and enormous increases in the quantity of data that can be used to train AI systems, have enabled the application of AI in an ever wider range of sectors and activities. Why do people fear AI? Part 2. AI can be both beautiful and yet very dangerous at the same time. No one knows whether AI will benefit from human resources or end up in a tragedy. Shermer stated that we need to be super careful with AI, potentially more dangerous than nukes. And people should mark his warning and be extra cautious around anything that's unknown to them. Unpredictable AI. People, especially employees, must be concerned about job loss if AI does take them over. People who are out of a job will have no idea what to do with their newfound spare time. They are used for hard work and labor, while only taking breaks, vacations, and sick days if necessary. Whereas machines and robots cannot get sick, therefore they don't have any sick days off, nor will they get to take breaks for any vacations. AI is clearly unpredictable, but as of 2023, it may take up to 20 to 30 years before AI robots and machines are ready to take over people's careers. And if they do, then that's not fair for the people, because they worked hard to earn those careers. AI facts. AI has been everywhere throughout the world since the 1990s when the internet was most useful. Molly Kender mentions that in January, Amazon opened Amazon Go, a high-tech cashierless convenience store in Seattle. There were no checkout lines and few employees. Kinder also states that rumors of a coming wave of similar stores and robot-run factories have provoked apocalyptic predictions of mass unemployment among pundits and politicians. If AI takes over our careers in the upcoming years, then that will lead to termination for the people, and people will have no idea what to do with so much spare time. Shermer stated that the development of AI has been much slower than predicted, allowing time to build in checks at each stage. Stevens stated that jobs at this time are indicated to be in peril are fixed middle-skill routine and repetitive jobs, whereas jobs in a non-static environment involving judgment, flexibility, creativity, social intelligence, and abstract thinking may have proven difficult to automate. Artificial learning. Angelke states that many organizations have produced AI ethics and norm guidelines to place boundaries around the design of AI programs and their application to real-world phenomena. Kinder stated that despite fears of humans losing out to machines, there are plenty of recent cases in which people have worked with machines and in the process become more productive, skilled, and theoretically better compensated. According to LaGrandiere, the pessimists who worry about controllability of AI systems are numerous, perhaps because of so much of the cutting-edge work in AI is funded by the military, and in fact any brilliant artificial servant is most likely to arise from the search of automated weaponry. Bell stated that artificial intelligence / machine learning (AI/ML) algorithms are widely used in the private sector. What companies plan to do? Disney has decided to study AI, and that isn't very fair for the employees who work for the company, because they have worked so very hard to attempt to earn those 100-year careers, and replacing them with AI could cause the company to file for bankruptcy. Kinder stated that no country will be immune to the AI upheaval, and that technology may destroy work but can also recreate it. Jobs such as app developer, social media manager, and drone operator did not exist until recently. But Stevens mentioned that automation in the workplace is being blamed for the possibility and even the likelihood of unprecedented job losses and restructuring in the years to come. AI and human safety. With AI takeover supposedly happening in 20 to 30 years, will not be known about human safety. Coletta states that as we delegate more responsibility to machines and in regards to autonomous decision making, we must guarantee proper accountability in protecting human rights. But will AI be able to keep humans safe from harm, or will they turn against them? That is something that, as of right now, will remain unknown. But perhaps in time, the future will prevail. Automation facts. Tyson and Zeisman state that artificial intelligence is the latest tool in the toolkit of automation technologies that perform tasks previously performed by humans and often more cheaply, faster, and better. While AI can improve how career tasks are completed, it can also cause new jobs to be created. Heller mentions that AI may change the fundamental nature of war, a groundbreaking premise that could alter the principles of warfare and centuries of military thinking. But Glass, Silverman, and Wagnon state that the fact that robots, especially self-driving cars, have become part of our daily lives raises novel issues in criminal law. Robots can malfunction and cause serious harm. AI apocalypse possibility. Shermer stated that how the AI apocalypse might unfold was outlined by computer scientist Eliza Yudowski in the paper in the 2008 book Global Catastrophic Risks. How likely is that AI will cross the entire gap from amoeba to village idiot and then stop at the human level of genius? His answer: it would be physically possible to build a brain that computed 1,000,000 times as Earth and then increasing portions of space into paperclip manufacturing facilities. Before long, the entire universe is made up of paperclips and paperclip makers. Bell mentions that AI/ML is much less dependent on the programmer. It finds associations and relationships in data. AI Facts Part 1. The Grandeur mentioned that there is a serious danger in that military organizations would be interested in creating intelligent machines without a conscience or any moral constraints. But Kinder states that far more people will find their jobs changed rather than lost because of automation. Uncertainty will replace stability as skills become more obsolete. But Kinder also mentions that properly preparing for automation will require a long-term vision, bold goals, and immediate action. And Ajoke stated that artificial intelligence today is properly known as narrow or weak AI, and that it is designed to perform a narrow task. However, the long-term goal of many researchers is to create AI, AGI, or strong AI, general AI. While narrow AI may outperform humans at whatever specific task, like playing chess or solving equations, AGI would outperform humans at nearly every cognitive task. AI facts, jobs. Stevens mentioned that jobs that at this time are indicated to be in peril are fixed, middle skill, routine, and repetitive jobs, whereas jobs in a non-static environment involving judgment, flexibility, creativity, social intelligence, and abstract thinking have proven difficult to automate. Agrawal, Gans, and Goldfarb mentioned that machine learning does not represent an increase in artificial general intelligence, but of the kind that could substitute machines for all aspects of human cognition, but rather one particular aspect of human intelligence, prediction. The Grandeur stated that the problem is that making AI with built-in limits on the humaneness of their actions runs counter to warfare. He also states that, but even with considering the most violent purposes and military sources of most current AI research, pessimists abound. AI facts programming functions. Bell mentioned that AI/ML is particularly useful in performing four functions: identifying clusters or associations within a population, identifying outliers within a population, developing associational rules, and solving prediction problems with classification and regression. Coletta states that, along with AI's technological development, the dignity, the foundational notion for all human rights, and of the natural equality of beings is also called into question. Tyson and Zeisman stated that artificial general intelligence, or AGI, has no clear definition, no clear time frame, is not yet a matter of business and policy concerns, and is therefore not our focus. Instead, we concentrate on how narrow AI applications are not yet widespread. Our analysis, by necessity, draws on evidence about the impacts of other forms of automation on labor and in the advanced industrial countries during the last 3 decades. AI's future. Tyson and Zeisman declared that predictions about the future's effects of AI are replete with uncertainties, both about the pace and scope of future scientific breakthroughs, and about the pace and breadth of AI deployment. Heller declared that the definition of artificial intelligence has changed many times since the first conference on AI at Dartmouth College in 1956, at which researchers joined together to theorize about the combination of robotics, neutral works, and programming. AI and criminals. Les, Silverman, and Wagner mentioned that, in the past, criminal punishment was primarily an issue for science fiction novels and movies. But within the advent of autonomous self-guided robots, it may well be that intelligent agents are no less responsible for their actions as humans are. But Grandeur states that what is at issue with AI is that there is not so much of a violent rebellion of AI servants, but the unpredictability of strong AI can learn and evolve, and our lack of preparedness for this eventuality, chiefly because we do not perceive the slippery nature of the dialectical relationship between them and us, between maker and maid, master and servant. We do not keep in mind that we are, in terms of systems theory, always and already enmeshed in a networked relationship with our prosthetic inventions. Stevens mentioned that in 2012, when Amazon acquired Kiva Robotics Company, Amazon boasted about equipping its warehouses with 1,000 robots. Future of AI. In the upcoming 20 to 30 years, AI has made some progress, but it still has a long way to go before it's ready to be released into the world. Some people believe that AI is kind of freaky, especially when it looks and sounds exactly like them, and nobody will be able to tell the difference between the robot and the real one. Whether AI will take over our careers has yet to be discussed by the developers and programmers, so it'll still be a few years before the robots are ready for that kind of task. Who is to blame when robots cause harm? Glass, Silverman, and Wagner mentioned that humans who produce, program, market, and deploy robots are subject to criminal liability for intentional crime if they knowingly use a robot to cause harm to others. And they mentioned that a person who allows a self-teaching robot to interact with humans can foresee that the robots may get out of control and cause harm. Shermer stated that we need to be super careful with AI because it's potentially more dangerous than nukes. What to do when AI comes in the future? When AI comes around in the next 20 to 30 years, people should be preparing themselves for it. That way, when it actually does come, they will stress less about it. But in the meantime, how they prepare themselves for it is entirely up to them. One way we can prepare ourselves for AI takeover is to go and visit companies that are already using robots for their business, observe the machines from a safe distance, and watch them perform the tasks that they are programmed to handle. Another way we can prepare ourselves is to mentally think about the best and worst case scenarios, such as robots can perform tasks just as well as a person can. But they also have access to dangerous weapons, and that can lead to disaster. We can also expose ourselves to robots and machines by slowly approaching them, even though we know they can't harm us because they are programmed to assist people and not harm them. But it is always better to be safe than sorry. We shouldn't worry about AI taking over our jobs now, because at the rate the production is going, it may take even longer than 20 to 30 years, or maybe even shorter at that time, or the period could end up being 20 to 300 years. But it all depends on how long the development and production process takes. What to do when AI comes in the future continued. Another thing we can do is approach the robots slowly when they come. After all, we don't know anything about them and what they can do, so it's best to approach new things slowly. Nobody knows what will happen and if AI takeover will be a good thing for us in the future, or if it won't be a good thing at all. The best thing we can do right now is to remain calm about the situation and focus on the present time. Otherwise, stop worrying about the future and just live in the moment. Should AI be considered a threat? Well, Johnson states that the hyperbole surrounding artificial intelligence, or AI, makes it easy to overstate the opportunities and understate the challenges posed by the development and the deployment of AI in the military sphere. Does this mean that AI is a threat to society? Perhaps it is, but perhaps it isn't. Only time will tell. Adapting to AI. People have learned to adapt. People have learned to adapt to working with robots and machines before, and surely we can adapt to it again in 20 to 30 years. Kinder mentioned that despite the fear of humans losing out to machines, there are plenty of recent cases where people have worked with machines and in the process became more productive, more skilled, and theoretically better compensated. If AI has helped employees become more productive and helped managers reach their company's goals, then why would people fear AI if it can also be a good thing? AI Adapting Part 2. Kinder stated that many of today's most alarming headlines reflect concerns over whether a specific occupation could be automated, but do not consider whether it will be. Most newspapers state the truth about AI being helpful and can boost productivity in companies. Stevens mentioned that technology is very attractive to owners of capital. Machines require no pay, benefits, sick leaves, vacations, lunch breaks, and weekends off. Why do people think AI is bad? Les Silverman and Wegman stated that it would be foolish to assume that self-driving cars are error-proof. They can function properly only if they interact safely with their environment, especially surrounding traffic, which includes human drivers, pedestrians, cyclists, and in the future, other self-driving cars, as well as intelligent streets. Bell mentions that the Securities and Exchange Compensation (SEC) uses AI/ML to monitor the securities markets for potential insider trading. If AI continues to evolve, then companies like the military and the CIA can use it to spy on people, and we would not be aware of it and go about our normal daily lives. Why is AI considered a bad thing? The grandeur stated that even most optimists among experts do not believe that mastery and control of AI will likely be in the long run. Rather, they think that humans, at least in our present form, will be extinct at the time AI is fully sentient. But that we will be happily so, having transformed into a kind of superior hybrid of flesh and machine. Many people see AI as freaky and terrifying part of human evolution, and that it will be a terrible thing for us because they believe that robots will have access to military nuclear weapons, and if something goes wrong, then that will lead to the end of the world as we know it. Whether AI will turn out to be either a good thing or a bad thing will be up for time to determine, since it will be coming to us for 20 to 30 years. AI research wrap-up. In conclusion, AI seems to be both a good and bad thing for people, such as machines can speed up production for companies, but they can also cause harm to the planet, which is not good for the people, plants, and animals living on Earth. Many people are pessimistic about AI as they do not like it when things change. They would much rather stick to what they are used to doing and whatever worked with them before. However, people have adapted to working with machines in the past. So how come AI is seen as a negative influence when we as a society have gotten used to having it around in our lives for many years? That is a question that cannot be answered right away. Everyone will assume that their answers, such as change is bad and we don't like it, AI is unpredictable and cannot be trusted, are correct, but no one actually knows if AI is a good or a bad thing. Only time will tell if AI turns out to be either a good or bad choice. So perhaps instead of being pessimistic, we should choose to be optimistic, because even though AI takeover is considered bad, it can be good for the companies who think they don't stand a chance in competitions. Conclusion. Several movie studios are currently studying AI. Unknown if the companies will replace their employees with robots, let alone if all companies will replace them. But in due time, people will relearn how to adapt to having AI in their lives. Once again, only time will tell if AI ends up being a good or a bad thing. And here's the first research reference page. Did you see it? Good. Here's the second reference page. Did you get a good look at that one? Good. And here's the final reference page.